Today on Larry King Now, San Diego Padres, Matt Kemp on playing the Dodgers opening day.
If I was to either get booed or get cheered, I really don't know. It might be mixed. The Dodger fans they're fanatics. They love their Dodgers. If they see another player wearing a different jersey, it doesn't matter if whatever you did, there might be a couple of boos, especially if I do good.
On finding out how he was traded.
Who told me?
Did the Padres call you?
I found out. I found out through Twitter that I got traded.
What?
Yes. One of my uncles called me. It was early in the morning. It's like 5 o'clock in the morning. I thought something was wrong with him. He's like, "You gotta be kidding me." I was like, What's going on? He's like, "Man, you don't know you got traded." I was like,
Plus, what's a job you'd like to try for a day?
Job I would like to try for a day. Your job.
It's all next on Larry King Now. Welcome to Larry King Now, and our special guest today, one of my all-time favorite ball players, and I go back a bit. Matt Kemp. He was drafted by the Los Angeles Dodgers in 2003. He's a two-time All-Star, Gold Glove, and Silver Slugger Award winner. In 2011, he led the National League in runs scored, total bases, home runs, and RBIs, came in second for the MVP award, and won the Hank Aaron Award. That same year, he also became the first player to finish in the top two in both home runs and steals since Hank Aaron back in 1963. This past December, to the dismay of all Dodger fans, including myself, he was traded to the divisional rival San Diego Padres in a 5-player deal. Were you shocked?
I was very shocked. Very shocked.
There were rumors.
Especially getting traded to a division rival, the Padres. It was definitely shocking.
What did you make of it?
I kind of felt it coming. There was a lot of talks even the previous year that I might get traded, and I kept hearing it. So in my mind, I just kind of set myself up for whatever happens, and it happened. And it was shocking, but it was bittersweet.
At a beautiful stadium.
Beautiful stadium.
Not one to hit home runs in, though.
Not one to hit home runs in, but usually I think if you're going good, that ballpark it can't hold you. Especially me, it can't hold me or any of the other people on my team if we're doing good.
You had a good outfield.
Good outfield.
Well, you were originally we were supposed to sit down in December.
Yeah.
And there was a little holdup over you passing a physical. What happened with that?
Oh, they just said I had some old man hips. They said I had a little arthritis in my hips. Which, honestly, I think everybody has some type of arthritis in their body. It just so happened mine became public, and, everybody knows about my arthritic hips.
That's what you have.
Yeah, it is what it is. I've been playing with these hips for a while.
What do you make of the Dodgers turnaround, of the bringing in a new shortstop, new second baseman, the center fielders?
It's a brand new team. It's definitely shocking. I never saw myself. I always saw myself as being a Dodger for my whole career. I never imagined, playing for a different team. To see the team that they have now is very shocking because, from the previous years we had built that team and we started getting really, really good and winning a lot of games. And I feel like now they have a pretty different team.
Opening day, you play the Dodgers in L.A.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be special.
I'll bet you're greeted with a lot of cheers because you
think?
I don't think you're going to be
so?
booed. Well, you'd be booed if you were a free agent and left.
Yeah, for sure.
You were traded. So the fans know.
Yeah, that's something me and my family have and friends have talking about is if I was to either get booed or get cheered, I really don't know. It might be mixed. The Dodger fans they're fanatics. They love their Dodgers. If they see another player wearing a different jersey, it doesn't matter if whatever you did, there might be a couple of boos, especially if I do good.
The days of Stan Musial, one team with the Cardinals, Cal Ripken, one team with the Orioles, Derek Jeter. Are they gone now? One team, one player, one team forever?
I don't know if they're gone. I think it's harder now. There's so many things happening. I think the game's getting younger. The older you get, things happen. Sometimes situations don't work the way you want them to work, and sometimes it's good for change. And I guess it was time for a change, and I'm accepting the change and the challenge to help this team, the Padres, win.
The LA Times blogger Steve Dilbeck wrote, "I'm going to miss Matt Kemp. That might come as a shock to many, particularly Matt Kemp. But in truth, he became my favorite Dodger. I never felt comfortable, or at least comfortable in the right moment to share that with him. but I guess I can do it now that he's been sent to the Padres in a trade that makes little sense.
Wow. Steve, wow.
Right.
That's crazy. I didn't know he felt that way about me.
Did the trade make sense to you?
Did it make sense?
Yeah, when you looked at it as a player or a fan, did it make sense to you?
I mean, honestly, you don't know what front office thinks or what they think they need. Maybe they felt like they needed another catcher. Maybe they felt like they needed another arm. You know, I guess it was good for both sides. The Dodgers got what they want. The Padres got what they want. So,
who called you? Who told you?
Who told me?
Did the Padres call you?
I found out. I found out through Twitter that I got traded.
What?
Yes.
Who
there was a bunch of people tweeting about it, saying that I had got traded. And actually, one of my uncles called me. It was early in the morning, it's like 5 o'clock in the morning. I thought something was wrong with him. He's like, "You got to be kidding me!" I was like, "What's going on?" He's like, "Man, you don't know you got traded." I was like, "Man, I looked at my Twitter and Instagram and it said Matt."
But who officially called you?
Oh, actually, I think it was Andrew Friedman, the guy for the Dodgers. Yeah, he called me and told me, and you know, then the Padres called me and welcomed me to the team, and you know, that was that. It was all foreign to me. I didn't know anything about getting traded, so you know, this was new to me.
What happens? Does the new team bring you down? They give you the uniform. You put on the uniform.
Yeah, it was weird. I was so nervous. I couldn't even button up my uniform during the press conference. I didn't know what was going on. It was new to me.
What happened to you in the first half of the season? You had that injury. People thought you were through, and then the second half, the old Matt Kemp emerged.
I think just time. You know, it takes time. You know, some of the injuries that I've had as far as my shoulder and my ankle, those are pretty serious injuries, and it takes a little time to get back. And, you know, I think I just needed to play and get out there and just, you know, work out some of those kinks that you have. You know, didn't have spring training this past year. And, you know, spring training is definitely important, so I didn't have that. So I guess I took that first half to make it my spring training, work out the kinks. And
you don't think you're injury prone, right?
No, definitely not injury prone. I did a lot. I put my body on the line, you know, for the Dodgers. I did a lot for them, stealing bases, running into the walls. And, you know, sometimes I think that stuff catches up to you. And, I mean, it was well worth it. It was a good ride. I enjoyed all my moments with the Dodgers, and I would never, you know, regret anything.
More with Matt after this. We're back with the great Matt Kemp. I call him that because he is a great athlete and a great ball player and a great guy. Do you think it's easier to handle a small media market?
I think so. Yeah. You know, coming from LA, there's a lot more attention, a lot more things going on. You know, it's Hollywood out here, and you know, going to San Diego, it definitely probably will be, you know, a lot different. You know, a lot more peaceful. And you know, I've done the wild side. Now it's time to do the not so wild.
What do you think about the Padre outfield?
I'm happy with it. You know, when I got traded, you know, I asked the guys, the front office for the Padres, if they were done, and he said, no, they're not done. And he went out and got Justin and Will and all these guys to help the team win, on top of the good pitching that the Padres have. I don't think people understand how good the pitching for the Padres is. They won 77 games, and they, you know, they didn't have. They were last in offense. So, you know, me, you know, Justin and those guys, you know, put up some runs for these pitchers, and you got a really dangerous team.
You're a great center fielder. Were you unhappy when they moved you to right?
You know, I was a little unhappy because, you know, I never saw myself as playing any other position, but, you know, I wasn't happy about the left field, moving the left field situation, because that's not a position I had played. You know, I told them that, you know, I would be comfortable playing right field, but they moved me to left field. So, you know, we had another great, you know, right fielder, Yasiel. He was playing good in right, but you know, he's a really good athlete, healthy, young. You know, put him in center field, put me in right, we'd have been good.
Okay, let's talk about some things that have been in the press. I want to get them cleared up.
Okay.
Don Mattingly said he sent you a text and you never responded. Your manager.
Did I respond to you when you text me?
No, you didn't respond to it. My staff texted you.
That time was crazy, man. There was a lot of things going on. I honestly can't believe we're talking about this, and this was a topic of discussion after all this stuff that's happened.
It was in the papers.
Yeah, I don't understand why anything like that would be in the papers. But I mean, honestly, I had an unbelievable time with the Dodgers. You know, they groomed me. They made me the man I am today. You know, I got drafted by the Dodgers, and I have no hard feelings or whatever the case is. I enjoyed my time in LA, and my time is up, and it's time to move on.
Did you like Mattingly?
I enjoyed Mattingly. Mattingly is definitely a student of the game, and he knows what he's talking about.
So had he called you to talk to him, right?
Sure, yeah.
You just didn't answer his text.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy time. You get traded. I've been with the Dodgers I've been with the Dodgers since I was 18 years old. And, for me to get traded, I think everybody was shocked. So you get thousands and thousands of text messages. And, you just can't respond to every text message or you even see every text message.
Did teammates call you?
For sure. I had guys, I've had conversations with Gonzo, I had conversations with Kershaw. Those guys, I love those guys. Those are my guys. Those are some great teammates.
How about the stories? Let's clear it up. Mm-hmm. That the clubhouse was one of discord. Mm-hmm. That there was cliques, and people mm-hmm. didn't talk to each other, and you were unhappy. Players didn't like you. Let me know. First off,
there's in Clubhouse, there's always cliques. There's cliques in schools. There's cliques in everything. There's cliques in the studio. Everybody has cliques. Everybody hangs out with whoever they want to hang out. In baseball, you don't have to get along with everybody, but you have to respect everybody. And my teammates respected me, and I respected them. And I never put myself in a situation to be called a bad teammate. I mean, you can ask my teammates. I think they would vouch for me. We didn't. Not all teammates, see eye to eye. But when you get on that field, you got one common goal, and that's to win baseball games. And they knew where my heart was, and they knew what type of person I was, and they knew I was a great teammate.
Is team chemistry overrated?
Is team chemistry? I feel like when you win, the chemistry is good. When you lose, the chemistry is bad. Somebody's always going to say something. You can't please everybody. And if you're losing, you can have team dinners every week, and everybody's getting along. And if you're out there losing games, one of those reporters is going to say the chemistry is bad. That's not the case. There's cliques and people hang out, but you got to be on one page. And if everybody's on one page, you're a pretty successful team.
So that was not a bad clubhouse?
Not at all, no.
Then people say Henley Ramirez didn't get along with people, but other people tell me he was a terrific teammate.
He's a great guy. Like I said, some people are going to say whatever they want to say, but as far as teammates not really, liking each other, that wasn't the case with the Dodgers. We all had fun. We won 94 games. That's not bad chemistry. I think that's pretty good. 94 games. I think 92 the last year. That's not bad chemistry at all.
If they had won the World Series, if they'd gone on and won, you think you'd still be there?
Say that again. Would I still be with the Dodgers? I honestly don't know. I don't know. A lot of new people there, maybe a new vision. I honestly can't speak for them.
What do you think happened with the Cardinals and Kershaw?
What happened? Kershaw is probably one of the most amazing, unbelievable people I've ever met in my life. I've seen Kershaw come from being a rookie. When the first team I think he played against was the Cardinals. I think Pujols hit a home run off of him. After that, Kershaw became one of the best pitchers in the game. Nothing ever bothers Kershaw. Kershaw's one of the most hard-working people I've ever seen. A believer in God, a great man, and things happen. There's sometimes when teams have your number, and Kershaw wins MVP and Cy Young. He's still those great things. It was just that series wasn't as good as he wanted it to be.
But he pitched great 6 innings.
He pitched great 6 innings, 7 innings, and it just didn't work out the way we wanted it to work out. The cards didn't fall the way we wanted them to fall.
Growing up in Oklahoma, and Matt's love for basketball right after this. We're back with the great Matt Kemp. You grew up in Oklahoma. What kind of kid were you? What was life like? Where in Oklahoma?
Active kid. Midwest City, Oklahoma / Spencer, Oklahoma, which is, Midwest City is a city. Spencer is where my grandma, had her house, and we were always out there in the country. So I was pretty much a city / country boy, and growing up in Oklahoma, I was very active, always outside playing with my cousins, and always playing sports, always outside.
Always close to your mother?
Always close to my mom.
She's everywhere with you, right?
For sure. My mom's my number one fan. She's my toughest critic. She tells me when I play bad, when I suck, and she tells me when I do good. So
was she mad when you were traded?
Was she mad? I think we kind of talked, and we kind of braced ourselves for whatever was to happen was going to happen. I think she was just as shocked as I was, but I think she said, like you said, everything happens for a reason, and time goes on.
Your father, were they divorced?
No, they never married. Never married.
Oh, they were never married.
Never married.
Are you close to him?
My dad, yeah, I talk to my dad all the time. He got me into baseball, so if it wasn't for him, he always stressed to me like I loved basketball. That's what I wanted.
Was that your first love?
First love was basketball. Baseball was a love of mine as well, but I always played summer basketball. My dad was like, you just need to just play basketball, but focus on baseball. I feel like you can go way further in baseball than you will in basketball. You're really good at basketball. You can go to college in basketball, but, I just think baseball is the thing for you, and we argued about that all the time.
How good a basketball player were you?
I was pretty good, all
forward,
state.
Small forward?
I did it all. I was everywhere.
Guard?
I bring the ball up, shooting guard, everything. I did it all.
Would you have gone to the University of Oklahoma?
Honestly, When I became a senior, I was telling colleges that I wanted to play both sports. And a lot of colleges don't like that. A few colleges, were like, maybe you can do that, but a lot of them wanted me to play just baseball. And then some of them just wanted me to play basketball. So I picked, my senior year, I started concentrating more on baseball, and I think it worked out for me. I'm sitting
You
here with
drafted out of high school?
Yeah, in baseball, yeah, 6th round.
Do you root for the Oklahoma City Thunder?
I do. I have a couple guys on the team that I know and I'm close to, and they have a great team when they're healthy.
Yeah, they just got over 500.
Yeah, no, I know. They're
Durant
like 22 and 20. So, Durant and Westbrook are back, and they're adding more and more people.
Do you think you could have been an NBA player?
I think I could have been. I think I can do anything I put my mind to.
You were that good?
I think so. Yeah, I think I could have did it.
In baseball in high school, you were always an outfielder?
Oh no! I first started out catching. Catching was that was my first love. Like, my mom and my dad would make bets with me when I was younger. How many pass balls would I have, and if I had this many pass balls, I had to do this or pay this or whatever. Like, catching to me was my thing. But I hit this little growth spurt and started getting tendonitis in my knees, so I moved to third base. And then my high school coach moved me to the outfield, and then that's when I became an outfielder.
Were you a good Little League player?
I was the best. I was the best.
Were you always this self-confident? You are a confident ball player, right?
I'm a confident person, but I was pretty good in when I was younger as a little leaguer. I did my thing.
When the sixth.
But I think everybody that's in the big leagues was a good little leaguer.
What was the minor leagues like?
My first year in the minor leagues was pretty tough.
Where were you?
I was in Gulf Coast.
Florida.
Florida, yeah. I was in the Gulf Coast League, Vero Beach. I think I hit like 270 with like 1 home run and like 14 RBIs in the season. And I wasn't quite sure. I was like, man, I don't know if this baseball thing is going to work out, because I didn't know. I was still trying to get acclimated to being away from home and, not having my family around me. And that first year was tough, but my mom, I went into the off season, talked to my mom. She told me to stick it out, and it just got better and better. Started figuring out some things.
Were you, frankly, ever tempted to take steroids?
Was I ever? Nah, not at all. Not at all. This is God-given. There's some strong boys in Oklahoma, man. We like to work out. And
was it ever offered to you? Anyone ever?
Nah, never offered to me.
Did you ever see it around the clubhouse?
Honestly, no. I don't even like needles. I mean, I get tattoos, but like poking and all that doesn't go well with me.
Why do you get tattoos?
Why? Because they're cool, man.
Doesn't it hurt?
They hurt, yeah. But I feel like a needle, just one single needle hurts worse than 8 little needles.
Are all your tattoos personal?
Yeah, for sure. It's all family. All family.
What about a serious? You dated Rihanna for a while.
You would bring that up.
Well, that wasn't bad.
Yeah, I did.
You like her?
Yeah, I love her. She's great. She's a great person. We had our time. She's very successful, very hardworking person, and she's always she's on her grind.
Are you involved with anyone now?
No, I'm single, straight single.
You like it? You like that?
I think everybody wants to have somebody in their life they can share their life with. I'm getting a little bit older, so it's time to start.
Oh, you're 30.
I'm getting older. I'm 30 now, Larry. I gotta pick up the pace.
You live by yourself?
Yeah, I do.
In San Diego.
Big old house by myself.
Well, what's life like down there?
What's life like? It's quiet. Life is different because being in
L.A., you lived where?
I lived a lot of places in L.A., but my last house that I had in L.A. was in Hidden Hills, which is kind of like where I stay now. You know, a lot of land and horses and things like that. It's quiet. It kind of reminds me of home.
When we come back, has Matt chosen a new walk-up song? Every player has a walk-up song as they come to the plate. Now that he's a Padre, we'll find out next. We're back with Matt Kemp. We have some social media questions. At Hannah Hairflip, have you chosen your new walk-up song? If so, what's it going to be?
You know, that's kind of, it just depends on, you know, the time. You know, there's always new songs coming out.
What was your walk-up song in L.A.?
I had so many, Larry. I don't,
what, did you tell them what to play?
You tell them what to play and they play it. You know, there might be, I think my favorite walk-up song maybe last year was Lionel Richie, All Night Long. That was a good song, man.
Yeah, it's a great song.
I got a lot of hits on that song too, so. You know, I think as a baseball player, it goes off how successful you are when you have that walk-up song. So if I'm doing good, then you keep that song.
You got one for San Diego yet? No.
No, not yet.
At Bet One This, what do you believe will be your biggest challenge as a Padre?
My biggest challenge as a Padre? I don't know. I think, you know, probably being one of the older guys on the team, probably with some, you know, one of the guys with most years on the team. You know, I came from a team that was very successful. You know, just teaching them how to, you know, win. You know, compete, win, and go out there and give it your all every day.
Do you think you owe a moral obligation?
Say that again?
As a player, do you owe a moral obligation?
For sure.
To the fans and to give your best?
For sure, always. I gave my heart to L.A., and, you know, like I said, L.A. has some of the best fans in the world. You know, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't, you know, be as motivated as I am today to go out there and win. So now I got to bring that to a different city in San Diego. Autry
Graphs on Instagram. What are your thoughts on teammate Yasiel Puig? Didn't you have a near fight with him once?
We all have. There's always miscommunications on the team. I just don't think people understand. You're not always going to see eye to eye. There's always going to be a time when, you know, somebody might get on your nerves or this or that, or somebody says something about you and you find out, you confront them or whatever. After that, like I said, you're in the clubhouse, you're chilling, you're hanging out, you're on the field, you're trying to win baseball games. There's not one team out there that's never had. All teams have drama. All teams have drama.
You think Puig will mature?
I'm sure. Yeah. I mean, I was once young. You know, I was his age, and you know, I matured every year. I got older and older. I learned more about myself and more about the game.
You missed the cutoff man early?
Oh, I did all that stuff. Been there, done that.
Trevor Thacker on Facebook. What size and weight Louisville slugger do you use?
I don't use Louisville. I use Rawlings.
Rawlings.
Yeah.
What size and
34, weight? 31 and a half.
Is that heavy?
No, not really. You know, there's some guys that use some real big bats.
Babe Ruth had a whoosh.
Yeah, he had a big bat. Real big bat.
Okay, and now we play a little game of If You Only Knew. I just throw some questions at you.
Oh, and I just gotta
Remember the first girl you kissed?
I do.
What was her name?
I can't do that.
Oh, what was her name?
I'm not doing that.
How old were you?
I was probably 15 years old, maybe.
That was late.
Yeah, my mom made me scared of girls when I was growing up, man. She told me, you touch a girl, yeah.
What's a superpower you'd like to have?
Superpower. I heard you would like to be invincible, right?
Yeah. Oh.
That's a good one. I still think flying is pretty dope as well. I would like to fly.
Yeah. Seattle or New England in the Super Bowl?
Seattle.
Music you listen to at the gym?
R&B, hip-hop. I listen to it all. I don't discriminate.
When you got the big contract, what was your first big splurge?
I think I bought my mama a house, yeah.
Biggest hobby outside of baseball?
I'm trying to learn how to golf.
Would you, what's your favorite holiday of the year?
I like Christmas.
Would you rather hit a game-winning home run or a game-winning catch in the Super Bowl?
Ooh. I mean, I'm a baseball player, so I'd have to go game-winning home run.
What are you most excited about moving forward?
Just the changes. I'm excited about the changes, to see what's to come. You know, I don't know. Life is unpredictable. You never know what gets thrown at you. You never know what's going to happen. I'm excited to see, you know, how this San Diego thing works out and what happens.
When do you report?
I'll get out to Arizona maybe maybe like the 18th or the 19th, I think.
Of February?
Of February. Camp starts for the pitchers, I think, on the 20th.
Yeah, you get there early.
Yeah, but I think full practice for the position players is the 25th. So I'll get out there maybe a week or two early.
Funniest teammate you've had?
Funniest teammate that I've ever had, Juan Uribe.
Yeah,
my favorite teammate in the whole wide world.
Everybody loves him.
Favorite teammate.
Why?
He just keeps everything loose. He's
Everybody likes to fool with him.
He does, honestly, what I respect him, he doesn't care what people think about him. He doesn't care what people say about him. I mean, this man, I just respect him so much because he struggled, I think, the first year with the Dodgers, second year, I don't think go as well as it did, and then the next 2 years, he just got better and better. He never changed. He always stayed the same. He was always the same teammate, and I respect him for that because some people change when they fail.
Hell of a third baseman.
And he's a hell of a third baseman.
Any superstitions?
Any superstitions? No.
Do you not touch the foul line?
No, I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that stuff.
Biggest prankster you've played with?
Biggest prankster. I think Gonzo's a pretty big prankster. He likes to play around a lot. Yeah.
Really, Adrian Gonzalez.
Adrian's a cool guy, man.
He looks so serious on the field.
Nah, he just loves the game of baseball, man.
Who was a baseball player you looked up to as a kid?
I think Frank Thomas was my guy. I know. Frank Thomas was my guy. He definitely inspired me to become a baseball player, along with some of the other guys like Ken Griffey and Gary Sheffield was one of my favorite players just because he had that. He had that right there. That's what made me like him so much. But Frank Thomas was my guy.
What's a job you'd like to try for a day?
Job I would like to try for a day. Your job.
TV show you never miss.
TV show I never missed. I love TV shows. I have too many. I mean, my favorite show I think out right now is, I have a couple. It's Blacklist and The House of Cards, but they're not airing right now, so I got to wait till they come back on.
Favorite movie?
Favorite movie? There's too many good ones to name, I think. Of course, Denzel Washington's one of my favorite actors.
Oh, I love him.
Training Day.
Great guy. Yeah.
There's another movie called. There's another movie. It's called Law Abiding Citizen, which was a really good movie that I liked.
That movie.
Yeah, there's some. That's one of my favorites. Yeah, good guy goes crazy because of his family.
And finally, best thing about being a major league ball player.
The best thing about being a major league, the food, man. You go to all these different cities. You get to go in all these different clubhouses, all these different types of food. I love food, so.
Stan Musial told me the best thing was putting on that uniform every day.
That's a good one, too. Putting on the uniform and going out there and playing a kid's game, you can't really beat that. And getting paid good money for it.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, man. It's always
You're the best.
You're the best.
I want to thank my guest, one of the newest additions to the San Diego Padres, and it sounds weird, Matt Kemp. We're going to miss him in L.A., and I'll see him opening day when they play the Dodgers. And you can find me on Twitter at King's Things, and I'll see you next time.